Hi everybody, welcome to my channel. It's Wendy here from Little Nest Crafts. Thank you for joining me today. I hope that you're having a good weekend. I'm going to try and put this video out at the weekend so that it relates to the time zone that we're in. But I'm making this video ahead of time because I've had a few book collections, and so I'm going to be doing a few haul videos. I think I've filmed my second, but it might not have been released yet. But anyway, this will probably be the third in the series of my book hauls. And it's Sunday today, and been to church this morning and celebrated the Harvest Festival. And then afterwards, Chris and I came home, collected the dogs, and we went to Tredegar House Park to let them have a run round and let off steam. So we had a bite to eat there, really nice, in the little cafe there, and it's gloriously sunny day. And then as we were walking back towards the car, I noticed the little bookshop that they have there. They have a little second-hand bookshop, and so I thought, oh, you know, while we're here, I'll nip in to have a look. And lo and behold, I came away with probably about 10 books. Let me just have a look. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 8, 11 books. So yeah, great little find, and everything was just up my street, and it was all in one section of their bookstall shop. So without further ado, I'll go into what I actually picked up, and the first one being this. I'll just scroll out a bit. You can see that. And it's called Starfolio of Pinafort Music, and it contains 40 compositions. And when it was first printed, it was 7 and 6. So, and that was when we swapped over to decimalisation. It was 76. So this must be pre-1976. And it's in reasonable condition. The spine's a little bit gone, but I'm sure this has been well and truly loved in the past for somebody who can play the pianoforte. But that isn't me. Not being very musical, although I always wanted to be. So this was published in London by W. Paxton and Co. Limited, and just trying to see when it was, if there was a date. And whenever I hold on to old books and they're a bit dusty, my hands start to itch, so it's affecting me already. But anyway, it's worth it to grab hold of some lovely papers, and aren't they a fantastic colour? So lovely in yellow around the edges, and there's quite a few pages in here. We've got 239 pages, and it cost me £1. So I thought that was an absolute bargain. Especially when you look on eBay and you look what people are charging to buy 10 sheets of paper. You know, unbelievable really, but there we go. So that was £1. I don't know, it says it was made in England, but I can't actually see a date. Looks as though there was a series of them, and I did manage to pick up 2. So this is series 7, or book 7. And same again, this gone up in price a little bit. This one's 8 and 6, and looks like there's 40 compositions in that one, 29 compositions in this one. This one cost me £1 as well. And we've got, what we got in here, 239 pages as well. So absolutely lovely. So that'll keep me going for the rest of my days, I think, for music paper. And I also got Another one. See if it's got publishing date. No, it doesn't actually say. There's nothing on the spine to indicate, but two lovely books there. And I also picked up this one in the same barrel, and this one's The Dancing Years by Ivor Novello. And this one it's got £4.50 on there, and this one cost me 50p, so another bargain. And it's going a bit dotted and yellowified, as old books do. And this one was a musical play by Ivor Novello and published in London, and price was 10 shillings by Chapella and Co Limited. So whether that was at the very beginning of when the book was made, but this was given to somebody for Christmas from Miss Banner, I think it is. Miss Banner, for Xmas 1942. So somebody received this for Christmas in 1942, and it was first published. Oh, the plays were done 1911, 1914, 1927 and 1938. So, great little book. And same again, I love all the discoloration on these pages. And for 50p, I've got, does it say on here when it was published? No. Some advertisements there. And we've got 129 pages of music to be going on with there. So great. So I'll just move those to one side and get those ready to pop away with my stash. And then I got these two little books, and I couldn't resist this one. This is the New Testament, and I love the side of it. The little ribbon is in there, but it looks like it's coming loose, but somebody's left it in the page. And I just liked it because it was small. And yeah, what's it like without the sleeve on? Let's have a look. Yeah, a bit dusty, a bit mottled. Spine's in reasonably good condition. You know, the text on it's still bright. And the sleeve's not in too bad a condition. And a commentary on the New Testament, it said. So yeah, I like that one. And it was 4 and 6. The miniature edition was 4 and 6. The pocket edition was 6 shillings net. Library edition's 10 shillings. And the popular edition was 3 shillings. Yeah. So nice little book, and that was 50p. And then I got the Observer's Book of Trees and Shrubs. And I could have done with looking at this, because, just diverting a little bit, as we walked back to the car, and my husband was letting the dogs have a good run on this grassy area where the dogs are allowed to run round off the lead. And I was sat there looking, and my husband came back and he said, "Oh, look at this little leaf." And on the floor there were these little leaves, and oh, he's just lost it. And in them was a little seed, and they were scattered all on the floor by the car. And I'd never seen leaves that shape before. That one had a seed in as well, but it's obviously dropped out, and it's probably in the carrier bag, because what I did, I sandwiched them inside the cover of the book so I wouldn't lose them. But aren't they unusual? And so we used Google on the phone, and They're actually called hornbeam. It's from a hornbeam tree. So yeah, I'd not heard of a hornbeam tree. It was a new one to me, although my husband had heard of hornbeams. So yeah, so I thought, well, I'll keep those little leaves. I'll put them somewhere safe, and they might find a way into my journal with those little seeds somewhere. Or we might even cultivate one and see what happens. So yeah, I don't know whether there's a hornbeam in this tree book, so maybe I should go in the back and see if it can tell us anything about them. Oh yeah, hornbeam, page 140. So let's have a look and see what it says, shall we? Have a bit of it, or I'll educate myself. And it says the hornbeam appears to be a real native of the southeast and Midland counties of England and possibly of Wales. A line drawn from Worcestershire to Norfolk roughly marks the limit. North of that line, the hornbeam appears to have been planted, as also in Ireland. As an indigenous species, it has had some doubts thrown upon it because there are some records of specimens having been introduced during the 15th century, but that is not sufficient ground upon which to deny nationality. Persons have been known to bring home from distant parts as treasures wild plants and ferns that were growing within a few miles of their own homes. The hornbeam is frequently passed by as a beach. The hornbeam is frequently passed as a beech to which it has very close superficial likeness, but a comparison of leaves, flowers, or bole would at once make the differences obvious. It is usually found in similar situations to the beech, though it does not ascend so far up the hills as that species. On dry, poor soil, it does not attain its full proportions and may only be classed as a small tree, but when growing on low ground in rich loam or good clay, it reaches a height of 70 feet with a girth of 10 foot. So, yeah, there we have it. Although that doesn't look like a hornbeam leaf to me on that diagram there. So I might have to check again with Google and see what it says, and I will let you know, because that is definitely not the shape of the leaf that we've got here. So I think some more investigation is necessary. But going back to the little book, this is Trees and Shrubs of the British Isles, and it's by W.J. Stocko, and this is 106 species with 177 illustrations, 16 of which are in full colour. Now, when I flicked through it, I did note that most of the diagrams were in black and white, but it was these that I was going for, these little diagrams here, because I thought they look lovely on a tag, and you can fussy cut round them, or I could even copy some of them as well. My husband's a good artist, and he might be able to draw me some in pen and ink, or I could have a go myself as well and put them on some tags. Or, as I say, you can fussy cut them out and do little labels out of the names that are underneath the pictures there. So they are lovely. And looking at the colour pictures, when I can find one for you, did say there was only 16 in this book. I did find some earlier. And there we go. They are quite decorative pictures. Lots of berries on that one. A walnut tree. My next door neighbour's got one of those in his garden. Dogwood trees. So yeah, hawthorns. Lovely. So there's some nice pictures there that I can use, and a nice size for they're ideal for a little journal like that, that I'm working on at the moment for Rachel and Bella Crafts. For those of you who don't follow me, that's one of my little journals that I'm making at the moment. So then another little book here, which cost pennies, and some old sellotape there that I can peel off and use. So I loved that. There we go. It's, coming off on its own accord there. So we can actually use that in a journal. And then we've got these lovely oldie yellowy pages, and these are Shakespeare's sonnets. So let's have a look. But be contented when that fell arrest, without all bale shall carry me away. My life hath in this line some interest, which for memorial still will thee stay. When thou reviewest this, thou dost review. The very part was consecrate to thee. The earth can have but earth, which is his due. My spirit is thine, the better part of me. So then thou hast but lost the dregs of life, the prey of worms, my body being dead, the coward conquest of a wretch's life, too base of thee to be remembered. The worth of that is that which it contains, and that is this, and this with thee remains. You can't beat a bit of Shakespeare. So there we go. So that's the little Shakespeare sonnets. And it got a nice inscription. To Miss Molly Titman, wishing you a happy birthday. Love from Patrick. 4th of January 1947. And apparently Shakespeare was born in 1564 and died in 1616. And this was published in... Doesn't say. No. It's published by Chiswick Press. And here we go. The book cover is quite in good condition. And then the picture on this and the title drew me to this straight away. When I were a lad. And that sounds typical Yorkshire to me. When I were a lad. Snapshots from the time that health and safety forgot, by Andrew Davis. Now I think this is obviously a modern book. And when I opened it up, I thought, oh, what a little treasure. All these lovely pictures. No, I didn't look to see when it was published. Yeah, and it's published in 2009. And then again in 2010. So, as I say, but it was just the old pictures in it. I mean, look at that. Just adorable. We had it rough. Now, I don't know whether I'd be able to cut into this book, really. When I were a lad, it weren't all beer and skittles. In fact, it were neither beer nor skittles. If somebody gave you an apple, you had to work out where maggot hole was. Oh, dear, I love that. Sometimes you had to eat what you could find. And there's the little boy eating the dog's ear. So, yeah, it just appealed to me. Kids didn't have it easy. Swimming lessons. If you couldn't swim after 2 lengths off a pier with Uncle Stan, then they chucked you over the weir and said, get on with it. And look, they've got them hooked by fishing rods on the back of their bathers and to keep them from going under the water. So fantastic. Oh dear. In them days, the police didn't stop you from fighting. No, they actually rounded you up and made you fight. So they got all the kids there, look, put them in boxing gloves and yeah, let them sort themselves out. There was only one kind of haircut, the median trim. If you didn't like it, tough. And I mean, that haircut's all the rage now, isn't it? Where they've just got a bit of hair on the top and all the sides are shaved off. So that started a trend, obviously. And then we've got, what have we got here? We made our own entertainment back then. Swinging round lampposts were brilliant fun. You didn't need rubberised purple tarmac to land on. And I remember doing that myself, actually. Getting a swing and, swinging round. You imagined it to be the maypole. It were all free too. You could bowl marbles, play hopscotch, or chuck stones at trams, and it cost you nought. Our sister were hopscotch champion of the road for 3 years running. And I mean, yeah, look at that. I'm showing my age now. But as they say, it was the good old days. There was no such thing as kids' fashion. You wore your nan knitted. You wore what your nan knitted for you and liked it. And there they are, look, all in their knitted jumpers and woolly hats and scarves. And I was reading yesterday on the internet that knitting and things like that are coming back, and things, people are taking more of an interest in learning how to sew, to recycle clothes and things, which is absolutely fantastic, because we are such a throwaway society where you wear it half a dozen times and then it goes in the bin. But yeah, I'm going to enjoy going through this book. I mean, look at that. Look at the hairdo. Oh, he's doing a history lesson there. Oh, dressing up for history lessons. Colin, the gladiator, always wanted us to do Romans so he could wrestle a lion in class. When it finally came round, he were off with measles and chronic nits. Oh, dear. Brilliant. Oh, I'll have to go through this with you another time. I could make a whole video on reading this book, and this one was £9.99 when it was printed, and it cost me £1. So the amount of joy I'm going to get by reading through that, it's worth every penny of that. It's made my Sunday. So yeah, a lot of the images are done by Getty, so you wouldn't be able to reproduce them or anything, and but just to read it and have fun, reminiscing and going through those will be great. And then I've got this one here, and as soon as I saw this, I thought, oh yeah, I like this one. This is a me book, Wayside and Woodland Blossoms by Edward Stepp, and reasonably good condition. The edges of the pages have been like splattered to give them a bit of colour. Nothing fancy, and it was 7 and 6 when it was new, published in Great Britain, and the Queen obviously endorsed the book. Yeah, because it's got the Queen here, and you've got some nice images inside, and nice lovely poppy there, which would be lovely, with Remembrance Sunday coming up pretty soon. And so there's a few nice plates in this book, and it's Wayside and Woodland Blossoms, a guide to British wildflowers, and this is the first series, and it gives you descriptions of 394 species, and it's by Edward Stepp, FLS, and 150 illustrations, including a pictorial colour key to the plates, it says. And it was a new edition in 1938. So a reasonably old book, but as you can see, it's got some lovely images. Plume thistle. Now the only thing is with the images, they're on both sides, so you're going to have to either work it where you adhere it into your journal by using a hinge method, so you can see both sides, because I mean I wouldn't be able to choose between them two just off the top of my head. I suppose it depends what journal you're doing, but it's a shame to waste them. Now these are a shiny, for those of you who like matte. There is a bit of a sheen on the paper, so you'd have to go over it with matte medium if you wanted to get rid of the shiny bit, but it's not too bad. It's not glaringly shiny here. So yeah, it's got some lovely pictures and some nice diagrams as well. So yeah, lovely images here. And I did check to make sure it hadn't lost any of the pages, although that wouldn't really have put me off. It would have just made it easier for me to tear it apart, because I don't know, it's a shame to tear it apart. And as you can see here, we've got some more vintage sellotape there, which I can use. And yeah, beautiful. So just a quick flick through, and some nice black and white drawings. Oh, lovely. Look at that sea holly there. Lovely. Goose grass. I've got lots of that in my garden. Yeah. Bush vetch. Brambles. I've got lots of those in the garden too. Yeah. So really lovely crab apples. So worth £1, because the bookshop there, they're raising money for charity. So they're not, oh, look at these lovely little images there. They've goes into all the parts of a flower, the petals and the stems and the sepals and things. But yeah, they're raising money for charity, and I think, did I see they've raised £17,000 up to now, I think? Or was it £1,700? I'll have to verify that next time I go. I can't remember now. But so, you know, some of the books are more than you would, you know, normally get from a charity shop. And so, but you can barter with them a little bit, but I didn't really do that today, because I thought, well, it's all money for charity, isn't it? So that's the Wayside and Woodland Blossoms on that one. And then there was these two lovely bird books sat on the shelf side by side. This is by the same author, T.A. Coward, and they were the birds of the British Isles and their eggs. So I want to do, never ever done a bird themed journal, and it's on my list of to-dos. And I didn't know whether it was actually published by the same people who published this this book, because it's the same sort of feel inside, you know, the thing. So I don't know. Worn. Let's have a look. Oh, it is. Yeah, they're published by the same company. And yeah, some lovely plates in this book as well. And you've got eggs, and you've got the actual birds. And I'm just looking, because I don't know if they're on both sides. Yeah. So same again, you'd have to decide which birds you want to keep. or as I say, do it like a hinge method, or you know, put them on a like there. You could fold that in half and have like an ATC card and put the bird on both sides, because you could actually lose that one, so it slips into a pocket. And same with that one there. You know, you could make them into little journaling cards, but obviously you'd have no space to write, but you'd just have them for their decorative, as a decorative element. So that's that one, and that's this one, and these were £1 each as well. Or was it 2 for £1? Yeah, it might have been 2 for £1. So yeah, I will definitely be doing a bird themed journal now, because I've got plenty of images to be going on there with. And I also liked the egg diagrams in there. And then my favourite journals to do are bee themed journals and embroidery journals. So this was on the same shelf as these other books, H&S Hodder, and it's a Mary Thomas's embroidery book. No sleeve with it, feels very dusty, and shot by Cardiff Castle is the little ticket on there. That says in English, translated into English. And then we've got Mary Thomas's embroidery book, and we've got see when it was, Nothing is too complicated or too simple for Miss Thomas. There we go. They're all references to the book. And we've got this book was first printed in April 1936, reprinted in 1938, and then again in 1941. And it was published by Camelot Press Limited in London and Southampton. And she dedicated it to her mother with love and affection, and to all those women who throughout long past ages have contributed to the joys of life through their embroideries. So it goes through a list of all the types of embroideries you can do, such as a applique, a CC cross stitch, black work, broderie and glaze, canvas embroidery, cut work, cross stitch, couching, Florentine, hardanger. The list is endless. You wouldn't realise that there was so many different types of embroidery, net embroidery, quilting, samplers, yeah, smocking. So if you want to learn all about sewing, and this is probably a good little book, not to chop up, but to actually, as a research, you know, to see how to do some of the things in it. And a few nice diagrams, and lovely black work there, needle weaving, smocking. I've done smocking. I used to make my children's clothes like that. Time consuming, but well worth the effort. How to do hems and quilting. So lovely little book. Really pleased with that. And just the nice size as well, and it's in reasonable good condition, to maybe do an altered book and then use some of the images. So lovely. So that is my book haul for this Sunday. I'll be going again in the not too distant future, so I do hope that you will join me in the next video. I've been collecting a few books because Jez from Nigeza Creates has done a royal journal, or is in the process of doing a royal journal, and that was on my list of to-dos, because I do like the royal family. And so I've been collecting a few books on the sidelines when I see them come up. There were some at this charity shop today, but they were sort of a bit pricey really. One was £5, the other was £4, but they were quite large paperbacks, and although the images were beautiful, I thought, would I actually use them in a journal? Because of the size, I wouldn't really want to fold them up. And if they'd have been cheaper, I might have thought, oh well, for £2, or £1, I'd have brought them away and had a look to see what I could do with them. But for £5, I thought, no, I'll leave them. And there was also some Egyptology books as well, and they were £5, but the images in those were fantastic. So that's another journal that I would like to do, because I've always been interested in, if there's any Egyptology documentaries on TV, then I do like to watch those. So it'll be watch this space and see what new books come up in the future. So until then, everybody, hope that you have a good week, because it's Sunday while I'm filming this, and hope that you enjoy the rest of your week, and stay safe and be kind to one another, and I'll say bye for now. Bye.